After announcing his retirement following his win against Justin Gaethje, Khabib Nurmagomedov was placed first in the pound-for-pound rankings just a few days later at his own request. Jon Jones, the long-term leader of the ranking, was less than impressed. The American argued that he'd won 15 title fights, while Khabib had only won 4, and so was only just beginning to fight at the highest level. Discussions around who truly is the greatest of all time are still going on today. In order to name the true GOAT, it's worth starting with the two fighters' achievements. Khabib has got a perfect 29 wins, 0 losses record, while Jones has 26-1. However, everyone knows full well that Jones's loss was due to a disqualification, and that he'd been well in the lead to that point in the fight, so you could say that they are both unbeaten. Khabib won 4 title fights and Jon 15, so this aspect is clearly in Jones's favor. However, if you look at the style of the wins, the Russian was more dominant. Though it's worth noting one significant aspect. In his first 4 title fights, Jones destroyed his opponents just like Khabib, but he did it even more spectacularly and was pretty much untouchable. He also beat more successful fighters like the previously undefeated Ryan Bader and the former UFC champions Mauricio Rua, Rampage Jackson, and Lyoto Machida. Only Jones's later fights were more even, but he still won them, which is worth highlighting. The longer you are at the level of champion, the lower the motivation and the greater the pressure. So who knows how Nurmagomedov would have done in further defenses. It has to be said that the Russian has never been in Jones's position, so the argument that Jones should be GOAT or the leader of the pound-for-pound ranking is understandable. It would only be possible to consider Khabib for that position if he had defended his belt more times and was closer to Jones in that respect. In actual fact, Jones had achieved what Nurmagomedov did but a long time earlier. Comments in the community that you have to be the champion also outside the ring are absurd or even ridiculous, as the pound-for-pound ranking or choice of GOAT is about the skills and achievements of fighters inside the octagon and not outside it. Those who claim that Jones doesn't deserve to be called the best fighter due to his problems outside the ring should make up their mind as to whether they're more interested in MMA or the fighters' private lives. The title of best fighter in the world, without separating the weight categories, is gained in the cage and not outside. Those who call Jones's position into question due to his extracurricular exploits are simply unobjective and therefore should not be taken into account. So, all in all, is Jones the GOAT? Here we get into the answer to the titular question. It is impossible to say unequivocally who the greatest of all time really is. This type of ranking is only created for the media, and as we can see, it fulfills a role as it is often mentioned. There is no doubt though that the two GOATs are Khabib and Jon, and to say which of them is first is simply impossible. If I personally had to specify the number 1, then I'd choose Jones, as he defended his title more often and has been at the top longer. He's simply done more. To finish with, it's worth mentioning that if Georges St-Pierre, Anderson Silva, or Demetrius Johnson were taken into account, guys who have defended their titles multiple times, then it's still Jones who has won more title fights, which gives plenty of food for thought. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.